What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Ben and JV from JBM Sports Media, and here today we're going to be continuing our MLB season projection series. And the team that we're talking about here today is none other than the Minnesota Twins. Strictly, or should I say, firstly, should we go over this lineup right here, JV? We have Byron Buxton, Austin Martin, Luke Keeschel, Josh Bell, newly acquired from free agency, Royce Lewis, Ryan Jeffords, Mike's favorite catcher, Matt Wallner, Trevor Larnach, and Brooks Lee in the 9-hole. JV, looking at this lineup right here, what's your first initial thoughts?
Well, it's got a mixture of talent and question marks all over it. Obviously, Byron Buxton is one of the top center fielders, not just in the American League, but in the game overall. But obviously, the one thing that really hurts his reputation is obviously his injuries. The same thing for Royce Lewis. This guy could be a phenomenal third baseman, a top third baseman in the American League at least, and he's got all the intangibles. He could hit. He could hit for power. He's a pretty good defender, and he just cannot stay healthy. This guy is literally, he'll play 50 to 20 games, and then all of a sudden he's back on the IL. It's really a shame. Matt Wallner, I do like. I think he had a pretty decent season last year. I think he could be a bright spot in that outfield for the Twins, but when you go through the rest of this lineup, it's kind of tough to really look up and down this lineup and say, where are you going to score the bulk of your runs from?
Yeah, I think the addition of Josh Bell, yes, it does help them, but we kind of know at this point in Josh Bell's career what we're going to get out of him. And Luke Keeschel, though, I think is a very good player for them. I've seen a lot of MLB content creators talk very highly on Luke Keeschel. I'll be one of them as well. I think he's a very good ball player. Austin Martin at left field, not a big fan of that, if I could be quite honest. And Matt Wallner and Trevor Larnach, I think they are solid pieces, but you kind of know what you're going to get out of guys like that. Not going to get all-star level performance. You're just going to get, I would say, quality performances more so. Brooks Lee, am a big fan of him, but I still feel like, obviously, like you mentioned, Buxton or Royce Lewis, injuries just always come up to the back of my mind when it comes to those two players. Very talented. Even though Royce Lewis, when he was out there this past year, didn't look the best. Even though he was healthy, I feel like he kind of missed a step, and maybe that's just some tweaks he had to make in the offseason. But Ryan Jeffords is a very decent catcher. I'm not going to overhype him like our guy Mike, but very decent catcher. You know what I mean? But I think they got some quality bats. I mean, what do you want me to say? Like, all these bats they have all-star potential? No. If I can be quite honest, no. But it's quality. It is quality. Like, they will give your starting pitcher 4, starting pitcher 5 in a rotation a run for their money. That's what I kind of see with this lineup, to be honest.
Yeah, and like I said, if Buxton can stay healthy and Royce Lewis stays healthy, this lineup might be honestly a really good lineup. I wouldn't say really good, but a formidable lineup. Something that maybe you could build towards the future. But I just don't think right now that there is any positivity coming out of Minnesota. The minute one or two of these guys go down, like a Royce Lewis or a Byron Buxton, where are you getting the run production from? Really? Are you going to rely on Josh Bell, a guy who doesn't hit for average? Are you going to rely on a guy like Austin Martin? Matt Wallner is too young. Do you think you're going to get bottom of the line of production out of these guys in Trevor Larnach and Brooks Lee? I just don't see it right now. I think they have a lot of coming into their own to do, and I just don't see how this is going to be a positive lineup for this Minnesota Twin Ball Club.
I agree. Now let's get into their rotation and their bullpen. The rotation, obviously, we found out Pablo Lopez, unfortunately, is going to be missing the whole year. Getting Tommy John. I think he already got it. I think he got it last week, actually. No, or I think he's getting it this Wednesday, I think. So I'm not sure. By the time this has come out, though, he's already gotten it, and he's already on the road to recovery. But this rotation now has Joe Ryan, Bailey Ober, Simon Woods Richardson, Todd Bradley, and Zebby Matthews. Some decent names like Ober. Obviously, you know what you're getting out of Joe Ryan. Todd Bradley, I still have hope in him. Woods Richardson had some good starts for them, to be fair. But, I mean, there's still question marks in there. If we get into their bullpen, their closer right now is Taylor Rogers. Not Tyler Rogers, Taylor Rogers. Set of guys, Justin Topa, Cody Funderburk, Cole Sands, Anthony Bonda. Everybody's well-renowned thirst trap is in here. Andrew Chafin. Wow. I mean, this is tough. JV, what do you think about it? Just take the wheel, actually.
I mean, first of all, Cody Funderburk sounds like he sounds like he hangs out like at disco bowling alleys or something like that. And
Yeah, right.
I don't know what that is. That's I don't know.
That's heavy. We're probably never going to get him on this show.
It's gonna be tough. Yeah, listen, that's okay. But I'll say that I'll say this: if you had Pablo Lopez rounding out that rotation with Joe Ryan and Bailey Ober and Taj Bradley, that wouldn't be a bad 4 guys to have in your rotation. And the minute you take out Lopez, it's just so hard for Joe Ryan to have to be the top guy in this rotation and have to have the bulk of your wins come from a Joe Ryan start. And obviously, we were just talking about this off air. He's got back inflammation and what his status would be for the WBC, and the rest of spring training. So that's not the best of news either. Is that their first 2 pitchers, their top 2 pitchers are hurt, one for the year, and one, obviously back inflammation usually just overall general back soreness. It's usually nothing major. Cam Schlittler was just going through the same thing, and he was able to throw off a flat ground, and he had no complaints. So hopefully Joe Ryan, it's the same thing. It's just general back stiffness to the point where he needs a few days and he could get right back into it. But, Bailey Ober, not the best, but formidable, somebody that could, eat up some innings. Simeon Woods Richardson, I mean, it's going to be a give and take type of thing, right? Maybe one good start, another bad, two or three bad starts. He's going to be inconsistent, jumping up and down. And Taj Bradley, he's got upside, but again, at the bottom of that rotation, rounding out with Zebby Matthews, I just don't see where you're going to get a lot of quality starts out of the bottom of this rotation, to be honest with you.
And I think my problem is once I look at this and look at the rotation, I mean, Joe Ryan, Taj Bradley, I think those are the more high upside pitchers in that rotation. Bailey Ober, like you said, formidable. He's going to give you quality starts every now and then. My only issue is if we look at the rotation and if their offense has like maybe a 2-1 lead heading into the 6th or 7th inning, and then you bring out a guy like Cody Funderburk, oh man, it might be
right.
You know what I mean? No disrespect to him in particular.
No, and I actually feel bad for Anthony Banda. He just went from the Dodgers to the Twins. You want to talk about the top of the top to the bottom of the bottom? I mean, you're there, brother. I mean, you're going to experience winning baseball and losing baseball. But I just don't like the middle of their bullpen either, to the point where their bridge to the 9th inning, which is not good either, is definitely up for some question marks.
I think it all comes down to, obviously, we're going to get into the win total in a little bit, but as soon as this team starts losing, I guess we'll save that conversation for the win total. But look, I'll say this right now. Looking at some of their bright spots, obviously, looking at some of their pipeline prospects, they have Walker Jenkins, who I think is finally going to debut this year for them. Geez, has this guy been plagued with injuries in the minors. But I think this guy is going to be the replacement, honestly, for what's his name? Austin Martin in left field. Right. I think this guy's probably going to be his replacement, and rightfully so. This guy, Walker Jenkins, is actually a stud. Culpepper, he's still a year away, in my opinion. Eduardo Tate, who they got in the Johan Duran trade back from the Phillies, still a little bit away. But Emmanuel Rodriguez, I'll say this, he's right there. I think he could, as long as he stays healthy, he could be a part of this ball club as well. So I think the 2 names to look at more so when it comes to hitters in this Twins lineup, you could add Jenkins and Rodriguez. That would be major plus, at least something for Twins fans to look forward to this year with their young up-and-coming prospects.
Yeah, absolutely. And not for nothing, Kalen Culpepper, he's got power and he's got speed, and he's a pretty good defender as well at shortstop. So I think we may see him, sooner rather than later as well. Considering out of these 4 guys, he's second ranked. He's 52 out of 100. Walker Jenkins obviously leading the prospect list at 14 there. But if Culpepper could, have a good spring training and come out of camp, obviously he's probably not going to make the team right out of camp. But if he could, pretty much pick up the slack of where he's going to show some eye-popping numbers in Double-A, maybe he gets a call to Triple-A, and then he could have a good enough Triple-A stint where he gets called to the majors maybe at the end of the season, just to give him a taste. But I could see him getting some major league action possibly this year.
Yeah, so there are names that I feel like Twins fans are going to finally get to see. Like I said, Walker Jenkins this year. This is a guy that previously was top 5 in pipeline. Now he's 14th, but it's not because of his talent. It's genuinely just because he's been hurt. He's gotten some injuries where it has impacted him in the minors, but I think it's finally time that we're going to see him in the big leagues, which I would be very excited about because I do have a lot of his baseball cards, so it's time to go at it, kid. But now it's the time that everybody's been waiting for, the Minnesota Twins over and under projections presented by FanDuel. Obviously, hit us up with the sponsorship. And luckily, or funny enough, the line is at 72.5 over under win total for the Minnesota Twins. And it's actually favored to go over, should I say. But I don't know where I see that, to be honest. I'll throw this out there before I throw it to JB. What was this line before Pablo Lopez got hurt is what I'm trying to
It had to be at least 77, right?
76,
78. Yeah.
I mean, look, I just wonder where that line was at, because now it's at 72.5. I mean, JB, I'll let you go at it first. What do you think?
I see them winning 7 less games. I'm going to go 7 under. I think they win 65 games this year. They won 70 last year, and that was with a healthy Pablo Lopez and Joe Ryan. Now you take Lopez out of that rotation. As we spoke about just now, we're not 100% sold in that bullpen. If the injury bug bites them, I don't see how they eclipse 70 wins. I see them getting 64 to 65 wins, and I'll just say to round it off, I'll say they win 65 games this year. A 5-win drop off from 2025.
So for me, it's 2 things. Obviously, last year their offense, did have its moments. It did, with guys like Luke Keeschel, Byron Buxton. Obviously, finally stayed healthy for a full year. Pablo Lopez did miss some time. I remember he had that elbow strain or flexor strain, I think it was. But Joe Ryan was healthy for the majority of it. It's just hard for me to see this team going over 72.5, because the moment I think things start going south for this team, they're going to start selling off pieces, and it's going to start happening pretty quickly. And yes, I'm talking about guys like Joe Ryan, guys like Byron Buxton, potentially even a guy like, we joke about it, but even a guy like Ryan Jeffers could be a catcher that could be in the market. Who knows? Really, Who knows? But
that's a good point.
I think the Twins, I'm going to go under, and I think I'm going to go with 68 wins for the Twins this season. I do think that to start off the year, they'll be more competitive because of the lineup and some formidable pitchers in that rotation. But as soon as they start getting into early June, I think that's when they're going to start crumbling. And God forbid they face another injury to either a key player in the lineup or a key pitcher in the rotation. They're going to be cooked fully. So I'm going to go 68 wins and hit the under for sure. Obviously, we want to know your guys' opinion. What do you think over under 72.5 for the Minnesota Twins this year? Are we being fair at criticizing them, or are we hitting it right on the dot? Let us know. So as always, make sure to subscribe here to YouTube at JBM Sports Media. We appreciate all the support that you guys have shown as we continue this series, and make sure to follow us on TikTok and IG at JBM Sports Media. Until the next time, we'll see you guys later. Peace.